Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning. I appreciate y'all's patience with not getting upset that I didn't put a video up on Saturday. I really just needed that extra day. Now, we know we had Trooping the Color, and there's a lot, but I'm not going to cover Trooping the Color till tomorrow because there's so much royal family news to cover before that. And you're not going to believe it, Harry and Meghan have lost more staff. I'm not kidding. There's a ton of Harry and Meghan stuff in here. So let's cover this today. Let's jump in. Let's get busy, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Princess Eugenie. She went to the safe house for the Salvation Army. And what I found interesting about this whole thing was she did a video which supposedly showed her visiting incognito. And she said that this is particularly close to her own charity, the Anti-Slavery Collective, which she founded in 2017. I don't know. I like the fact that she was supporting the safe house until she started talking about her own charity, trying to push them together and, trying to push her charity forward. Something about that just left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. I didn't like it. And it was after that Princess Eugenie went to the Global Fund for Coral Reef event during the UN Ocean Conference Week. She stood alongside those that are working to protect the oceans and restore vital marine ecosystems, and she met with Prince Albert of Monaco. I believe this took place the same week that William was there. And a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us about that dress that she was wearing. Now, one more thing. I told you before that I thought Eugenie and Beatrice had to make a decision. And it looks like Eugenie has formed an alliance with William ahead of the monarchy switch up is what they're calling it. Apparently, William has a plan in place. And the girls are aware of it, and as a result, Eugenie has grown distant from Harry. Next up, more pictures from Johnny's wedding. Next up, Princess Beatrice on June 11th, founder of BuyEQ, had a talk with Jimmy Wales, founder of Wikipedia. This took place during the London Tech Week event in London. Let's move on now to Princess Anne, also on June 11th. Princess Anne, as master of Trinity House, went to the Trinity Tide Anniversary and Court meeting at Trinity House in London. Looking spiffy in that uniform. All right, next up, now this is interesting. The King held a reception on June 12th at Windsor Castle for the recipients of the King's Award for Enterprise. So it was King Charles, and he was accompanied by Princess Anne, as well as the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, as you just saw. Now, the King's Award for Enterprise is an honor that recognizes the best businesses in Britain. And now, supposedly, the event was also attended by the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, although I haven't been able to find any pictures of them at this particular event. Now, this award is regarded as the most prestigious business accolade in the United Kingdom. The winners are a diverse group from across the United Kingdom, many of whom are leaders in their field of innovation, international trade, and sustainable development. And this award was instituted by royal warrant in 1965. This is the 57th year of the award, but this is the first year recipients get the King's Award. Obviously, before this, it was the Queen's Award. And recipients are also able to use the King's Award emblem for the next 5 years on their products to help promote their services. So this year, a total of 148 businesses were recognized for their success across 4 award categories. And as usual, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what Sophie was wearing. Let's continue. Next up, also on June 12th, it was exactly 50 years ago that the Duke of Gloucester was appointed by Queen Elizabeth to be the Grand Prior of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem. And he remains the Grand Prior to this day. All right, next up we have the Duke of Kent, because the Earl of St. Andrew unveiled a new painting portrait of his father, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, that was painted by artist Jamie Corrith during the New Generation Festival in Florence. It does look like an absolutely gorgeous portrait. I love how they have the lights over the top shining down on it. Fabulous. All right, let's move on now to King Charles. He had multiple meetings. First, he received the chief advisor of Bangladesh's interim government, Muhammad Yunus, and then the ambassador of Angola, Jose Martins Patricio, both at Buckingham Palace. The king also met Mr. Mousavi, the ambassador from Iran. Next up, Princess Catherine. The Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood has now announced funding for a groundbreaking mental health pilot program in London nurseries called Happy Little Minds, and it will place mental health practitioners in early education settings across Hackney and Tower Hamlets. It's a 12-month pilot that represents a partnership between children's charities, and it aims to support 150 babies, young children, and families through enhanced mental health provisions in nursery settings. Fabulous. All right, this next story is really sad. One of Prince William's really good friends, Sanjay Kapoor, was 53 years old. Apparently, he was at a polo match. It looks like he was stung by a bee on the mouth, which triggered anaphylactic shock. He had a heart attack, and he passed away. It's just so sad. All right, next up, we are back to Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh. You may not know, he is patron of the Tennis and Rackets Association and the Queen's Club. And so he went and attended the Women's Tennis Association Queen's Club Championships. Let's move back to Prince William. He went and visited an area of restored peatland on the Dartmoor, as the Duchy of Cornwall is apparently launching a landscape vision for the moor. Now, this also took place on the 12th, and so William was stepping out because they just unveiled this ambitious 20-year plan to restore the special landscape, okay? So this outing came because the Duchy of Cornwall, we know, just launched a new project to create a resilient environment and meet the changing needs of the communities there. In a statement, William said, "To keep Dartmoor special, we must respond to the twin challenges of global warming and the requirement to restore nature while ensuring the communities on Dartmoor can thrive. The vision shows us what might be possible and how that might be achieved. It is bold and ambitious, and something that I hope that by working together can be delivered for not just the current generation, but for generations to come." So this plan outlines some guiding principles to inform the future environmental management of the estate. It's going to focus on a, quote, coordinated public and private investment to restore the peatlands and upland mosaic habitats in the South Devon area. So it's a landscape recovery project, and it's also seeking to create, quote, partnerships between landowners, farmers, and wildlife teams, and foster collaboration and mutual respect in what has been historically a contested landscape. Also, the Duchy said they're going to promote sustainable farming. So it was during that conservation visit that William stated, and I'm quoting, "I'm keen to continue my father's work. For me, it's about the impact. I want to see stuff actually happening." So I think that's great that William is going to continue his father's legacy. Back to King Charles, he sent a touching message to the people of Austria following a school shooting. A message was also put out by Princess Anne as the patron of the Naval Children's Charity to help celebrate their 200th year anniversary. All right, next up, Buckingham Palace released a message from King Charles. Don't forget that a Gatwick-bound Air India plane crashed. There were 53 British nationals on board. It was just a terrible scene. And of course, the King sent out a message saying that they were shocked by the terrible events and that their prayers and sympathy are with the family and friends of those affected and how appalling it is. Now, because of that plane crash, King Charles has requested that everybody wear black armbands, and there will be a minute of silence during the parade as a mark of respect for the lives lost and the families in mourning. How wonderful is that? So the day before trooping the color, the king attended a ceremony to present new colors to the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the Coldstream Guards at Windsor Castle. We do know that for the 3rd year in a row, they have not been invited to Trooping the Color, which of course, again, we know is King Charles's official birthday celebration. The last time they attended was at Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee in 2022, where they were kept to the side out of the spotlight, watching the parade from a separate room alongside other non-working royals, and they did not go on the balcony. And if I remember correctly, they got pissy and they left before the events were even over because they felt they weren't getting the attention they should have. It is being said that it is a significant message that they have not been invited, because usually before a major event, you get the whole will they, won't they, will they go, won't they go, will they accept the invitation? So the royal family has decided that they're going to put a stop to this by simply putting their foot down and not inviting them. That's what you get. All right, let's move on now. King Charles apparently had a huge reception. He was joined by David Beckham. This is Mr. Beckham's last public appearance before he becomes Sir David, because we know he's getting his knighthood. Now, other big name Hollywood legends there were Oscar winner Meryl Streep, Oscar winner Kate Winslet, presenter Penny Lancaster was there, Alan Titchmarsh was there, all these people. Now, this is the annual ceremony celebrating the 35th anniversary of the King's Foundation, and it was an opportunity to celebrate alumni, students, and ambassadors of the monarch's charity. There were 200 guests, and the award celebrates the exemplary work of students, teachers, alumni, and partners who have contributed to the foundation's work across a range of sectors. We already know this: sustainability, traditional heritage skills, all that kind of stuff. The king met this year's 8 winners as he was heralded as a pioneer and a visionary. The day of this event, the foundation revealed that it has to date trained more than 115,000 students in traditional crafts and environmental education over its 35-year tenure. They welcomed more than 2.5 million visitors to its UK destinations and positively affected more than 500,000 lives through sustainable urban planning. Just a reminder, the King's Foundation was founded by Charles when he was the Prince of Wales in 1990. And in November of 2023, Buckingham Palace announced the King's long-standing charities had been rebranded in recognition of his ascension to the throne. But as the Prince of Wales, he set up the youth charity, the Prince's Trust, the Prince's Foundation, and the grant-giving Prince of Wales Charitable Fund. The man is a wonder. He's done fabulous things. And okay, let's move on to our Harry Meghan stuff. All right, I knew this was going to happen. Sentebale, the Sussex squad, has decided to attack Sentebale, and so they have had to disable their Instagram comments amid claims of, quote, targeted online harassment. They said, unfortunately, we've had to temporarily disable comments on this platform due to the harmful effects of recent targeted online harassment. Our focus remains on our mission and the communities we serve. We will not engage with misinformation or personal attacks here. Well, we knew that was coming. We knew that the Sussex squad was going to attack. I mean, Harry practically led them to it, you guys. Now, don't forget that the UK-based Charity Commission has opened a regulatory compliance case, and they're going to investigate. And if they find Harry did anything wrong, they will come out with it. Unfortunately, I think that is what they're going to find. All right, let's move on. All right. I would be shocked, but I mean, what does this make? Number 25, 26, 27, and 28? Harry and Meghan have lost 4 more staff members. You have Kyle Boulia, who served as their LA-based deputy press secretary, and Charlie Gibson, who was their UK press officer. They have left the private team. Apparently, this was reported on June 13th, and 2 other people left in the past weeks. And one of those employees was Disha Tank, who worked for Archwell Foundation for 3 years. Apparently, she resigned a few days earlier. So they basically gave their communications team the boot after blaming them for all their PR humiliations. I mean, are you kidding me? Apparently, they blame everybody else, never themselves. No one's ever good enough for them, but they fail to understand why things don't change, okay? Let's not forget that the takedown of Meghan in, the American Hustle, that in February we had the American Riviera Orchard rebranding, then we had the 6-part Netflix cookery show that was completely savaged, then Meghan was caught out by calling herself Your Royal Highness in a breach of her agreement with the Queen. Then their response to this is to fire 2 directors of communication in what they're describing as a huge purge. And in the meanwhile, the head of content for Meghan's Instagram account has also left. So they have now brought in Method Communications, who claim they are disruptors who challenge the status quo. So one of their first acts was to release the twerking video where Meghan's dancing around in the maternity unit. It's been completely panned. Now, for those of you who don't know, a few weeks ago, they hired that Emily Robinson as the new director of communications. She used to run publicity for The Crown, which includes the episodes where Harry was seen in a Nazi uniform, and they used to run sympathetic storylines on Mohammed Al-Fayed. But their chief communication officer remains Meredith Maines, who was just appointed in March, right before Harry scuppered any hope of a reconciliation with his father. Miss Maines says, and I'm quoting, transitioning from a team of 2 to an agency support staff of 8, operating across 5 different time zones, gives international media and stakeholders better access. So basically, Harry and Meghan have become clickbait king and queen. I'm telling you now, this is not going to last because the 2 of them always hire people top in their fields, and somehow it never works out. Oh my God. All right. I definitely want your comments on all of this, you guys. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. Double check. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you've already hit that button, then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, Gettr, Rumble, email, a link to my second channel, a link to my father's book, which is still up for sale, and a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.